Hey everyone, we're going to get started with doing our activities that are based on linear equations, but now what we have to do is figure out how to set them up. So solving them, we're actually going to use Desmos calculator to do that. And on the test, I'm not going to even ask you to do it. So all you'll have to do is just set it up. So your main goal is to read an application problem and be able to convert the words into math equations. And that's like the hard part, okay? So we're going to look at some examples, and there a lot of them are very similar. So as long as you know how to do a similar problem, you should be all right doing something like that on the homework or even on a test. So just get a little bit of practice and you'll be fine with it. So let's take a look at this question. So Jenna spent 10 minutes on the elliptical trainer, and then she did circuit training, and that was 20 minutes. Okay, so a fitness app said she burned 278 calories. Now she spent 20 minutes on elliptical and 30 minutes on circuit, then she burned 473. So we want to know how many calories does she burn for each minute on elliptical, and also how many calories she burns when she does circuit training. So in these questions and application questions, you always want to start at the end of the question. So you want to see what is it that they ask you to do. So they want you to know how many calories she burns on the elliptical, and she wants to know, and they want you to know how many calories she burns on the circuit. So we're going to say that X is the unknown. Now we're going to change the words how many, and instead of how many, we're going to use number. So we're going to say number of calories that she burns per minute. That would be my X. And you have to really choose the one that has all these details, because you need to be clear what it is that you want to find. So the X is the number of calories that she burns per minute on elliptical, right? And what is then Y? We got two variables. We also want to know how many calories for each minute of circuit training. So we're going to say number. So we basically just changing the word how many and changing it to number. Number of calories per minute on circuit training. So I'm not going to put circuit training, just going to put circuit. Okay. So that's your X and Y. So that would be usually multiple choice that you need to pick. Never pick a multiple choice that just says X is elliptical, Y is circuit. What's that mean? Elliptical. What elliptical? Elliptical is like, is it hard or easy, or what it is that you're trying to find? So what trying to find is how many calories she burns. That's what you're trying to find. Okay, so then we got to set up two equations, okay? Why two? Because we got two variables. So usually for us, it's going to be two equations, two variables. That's all. So we got to read the questions. Okay, so we know that, let me use a different color maybe, or a highlighter. Okay, so let's say that she spent 10 minutes on the elliptical trainer, and we know that each minute is X calories. So how would you find the total number of calories that she burns? So let's imagine, right, that for example, you said, okay, the number of calories I burn is maybe 30 calories, right, per minute. And they told you, okay, you run 5 minutes. What's the total number of calories? Well, what are you going to do to find the total? Well, if it's each minute is 30, then wouldn't you multiply them, right? Because it's like 5 times, so you'd get something like 150. So that's the same thing you do here. So 10 minutes multiplied by how many calories she burns, which is X. We're going to multiply them, and we're not going to put the times because we usually don't put it as a default operation, right? Then what else? Well, she's also gonna, let's highlight that part, maybe use a different highlighter. Okay, now this one is way too dark. How about blue? So we know that she also did circuit training for 20 minutes. So each minute of that circuit training was Y, right? Okay, so then if she did 20 minutes, we're going to multiply 20 by Y, because Y is how many calories for each minute, right? So if Y was, let's say, 5, when you would do 20 times 5, right, to get the total number of calories. But if it's Y, then it will be 20 times Y, okay? Now, we know that the total, so whenever you hear the word total, you have to understand that that's a plus sign, okay? That's going to be 278 calories. So that's your equation number one. Now, after that, you should really understand that the equation number two is going to be the same thing, just different numbers. So you have 20 minutes on elliptical, and then we have 30 minutes on circuit, and then the total is 473. So it's going to be the same thing. So you got 20x plus what else is there, 30y equals 473. Okay, so this is your system of equations, and as far as the test is concerned, you are done. Like, this would be it, that would be the answer. You just have to type these two equations, right? But on the homework, you're not going to be done because they want you to find x and y. So on the activities, I actually make it easy for you because I am going to like zoom it in the right window so you can see the solution. But I wanted to show you what happens if you don't have that zoom thing, okay? So let's say you just go to Desmos Calculator, which is a simple website, desmos.com/calculator. And that's what I want you to use at home. So all you're going to do is type these equations, okay? Just type them. Okay, and this first one, and then I'm going to type the second one. Okay, I should type the equal sign. Okay, so right now I don't see anything. There's nothing. I typed them, but I don't see anything. Well, first of all, you got to understand that x and y here are going to be positive numbers. So you can move this, you know, with your fingers, especially if you have a touch screen. If you don't, then I'm sure you can use the arrows, and you can also just use the tool where you can like focus on the x-axis and say, okay, I think the answer is going to be anywhere between 0 and let's say 50 or something. So you can put that in there, and y will be maybe also 0 and 50. And so that's going to allow you to narrow the window, right? So what you want is you want to be able to see that point of intersection. So that may require some like stretching and stuff like that. But like once you focus on it, Desmos is going to show you the answer. So if you can find it, then you're golden. Okay, so your x is 11.2 and y is 8.3, and that's basically your answer. So she burns 11.2, right? What was the question? So just remember, so x is now 11.2, and we just got y to be what, 8.3, right? That's the point, 8.3. So we know that she burns 11 calories when she's on elliptical per minute, and she burns 8.3 calories when she's doing circuit.